Alright, hopefully you already checked out the answer key to the factoring GCF assignment. If you have any questions, shoot a message my way via Canvas Messenger. Today we're going to talk about factoring when this first number out to the front here is not a 1, or usually we just don't write it. So when that's a different number, you might hear me refer to these as AC problems. And here's where I'm getting the A and the C. On any one of these, no matter what the variable is, we always refer to the first number as A and the second number as B and the last number as C. So I won't write this every time, but we need to be able to identify the A and the C part of this, because the first thing we're going to do is take those two and multiply them together. Alright, and we're going to rewrite the problem without that 3. And instead, we're going to resubstitute in a different C value, whatever the product of A and C ends up being. So again, this is A, this is C, and this is the new C. Okay, now this part here, I want to factor. So P here, P here. And we'll turn this into a multiply and add to problem. Multiply to negative 15, add to negative 2. Remember, when you're multiplying to a negative, that means you're actually subtracting to the value you're adding to, because you're adding a negative. So if I think of this real hard, I think, okay, well, my signs are different, and I'm going to go with 5 and 3, and 5 gets the sign in the middle, so it's going to be negative 5 and 3. Okay, now if we go back to the beginning, remember how you can check this. You can distribute and get back to the original. But if you notice, P times P is not going to give you 3P squared. So when we multiplied that 3 to the end and got this 15, we then broke that 15 apart. So to get that 3 back out of the problem, we divide each factor by the front number, or A. Okay, now if you're not following me, I would go back, rewind, watch again, or just wait. We're going to look at plenty of examples. But you're almost done factoring here. The trick at the end is, if it reduces the fraction, then just keep it like P plus 1. That's 3 over 3. And then over here, if it doesn't reduce, like 5 over 3 does not reduce, what you're going to do is you're going to bring that 3 to the front and leave the 5 right where it would have been anyway. Let's take a look at number 2. So number 2, first thing, A and C, multiply those together, and we get 18. Now remember, this 9 is negative. I don't know if I did this in the last example. I guess I should have mentioned this little dot here should have been a minus sign, giving us negative 15. So this is going to give us negative 18. And I'm going to rewrite the problem with, again, no A and a new C. Factor here. I'm going to multiply to negative 18, add to 3. When I multiply to a negative value, that means my sign should be different. And the numbers I think of are 6 and 3. 6 gets the sign of the middle number. Okay, now remember that 2 that we got rid of. We go back, we multiplied this 2 and this 9 to get our new C. So now we just divide it back out, and if it reduces, we keep it. Like here, 6 over 2 is 3, and if not, we just drag it to the front. Okay, it's a neat little trick that is just faster. There's actually a lot of different methods for factoring like this. This is called the drop method. Sometimes you'll hear grouping or split the middle, but we may look at that next week. Go ahead and try number 3, pause the video, see if you can do number 3, and then we're going to move on to a slightly more difficult type of problem. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is take 3 times 4 and get 12. and rewrite my problem. When I factor here, you gotta think, multiply to, add to, multiply to 12, add to negative 8. So that tells me my signs are the same because it's a positive 12. You can't multiply two numbers of different signs and get a positive number, so they have to be the same, and the question is which one. So over here this tells me minus minus. 6 and 2, and then we got to bring this 3 into the equation. If it doesn't reduce, drag it to the front. 2 over 3 does not reduce, but if it does, then just reduce it. There's your answer. I'd like you to move on to number 9. Number 9 has a little bit more to it. So let's look at number 8. I was thinking of this number right here, number 8. So again, this is going to be a k squared plus bk plus c. So my a and c in this problem is going to be 189. That's a pretty tall number. Okay, I think I can get us to here, and most people have followed me if you understood the first 3 examples. The only other thing we'll have to remember once we're done factoring is to figure out, okay, where's this 9 going to go, and what's going to reduce and what's going to stay the same. So in order to factor here, we need to multiply to 189, add to 66, and factors of 189, there's probably a bunch. 1 and 189. 2 might work. 3 I know will work. That's going to be 60. Ooh, 63. Ooh, look at that. Those add to 66. So plus plus 63, 3. All right. So far so good. Here's what's different about this problem. If I divide my 9 here, on the right, we get just 7, which is easy enough. But over here, we get a third. Okay? Now, if we get a third, what we're going to have to do is bring this 3 to the front, which is fine. Okay, now, the reason I show you this is because remember what we can do to check? We can distribute. And you'll notice that if we take 3k times k, we do not get 9k squared. Okay, so what I want you to do is find yourself a little bit more room, maybe go to the other side, and watch what we should have done. Yesterday we talked about GCFs. The AC method only works when all GCFs have been taken out. And if you'll notice, between 9, 66, and 21, we have a GCF of 3. Okay, so here's the deal. We actually have a partial answer when we have but the reason that we have one less part is because we didn't take out our GCF. So to complete this answer, we're going to have to put that 3 in. So my advice to you on these problems is make sure you take a GCF out first, and then look, you get 1, 2, 3 factors. Okay, and this is all we're going to do tomorrow is factor multiple times in the same problem. Let's try another one. Look at number 11. Okay, we'll do 4 and... No, we won't. We'll do some of this in our head. Okay, what are we going to multiply together? For the new C, that's going to be negative 4 times 25 AC. So that's 100. If I factor here, start off with my bubbles. Multiplying to a negative, my signs must be different. And difference of 15. Difference of 15. How about 20 and 5? 20 times 5, 100. 20 minus 5, 15. Alright. Then we take our 4 and we put that back in. And then this guy comes to the front, and this guy reduces. Okay, if you have any questions, shoot them my way. Other than that, the rest of this assignment is homework. You can take this home, turn it in tomorrow.